making $193 trading Meta. Let's dive in. So right now we're looking at Meta. This is a simple set and forget type of trade. We just closed this out on March 1st. That's when I'm filming this. It will probably get posted after that, but I closed it out on March 1st and we realized a 1.46 R. Did I want a little bit more? I did, but I'll explain here in a second what's going on behind the scenes because it kind of a little bit of wonkiness, but it's okay. So I'm going to click into this guy. And we initially entered, we planned a 1.6, a 1.46. We got a 1.46. I literally set this trade and forgot this trade. Not that I forgot the trade. I knew I had it open, but I got in and that was it. So this did not work as nice as I wanted to see it work, but it still worked. So I'm not going to complain. So we had a consolidation here and I want to see a Meta get above 488. Okay. It did. And I get in. Actually, on this day, I got in at 485, believe it or not. 484, yeah, the previous area of resistance. Let me just jump back to the charts here on TradingView really quick and show you guys kind of my my whole shtick. So we got, this is my area of initial resistance, really, that I was looking at, and we got this move here. This ended up being a trade that was a wash. It didn't count towards me or against me because the platform I was using right after I got in the trade switched brokers, and so it was a kind of a whole thing. So there was a Netflix trade and a Meta trade that both ended up just essentially not happening, even though I took them, but it didn't end up actually happening. Depending upon how I risked them, they both would have worked as we had here. So it just depends, or it may be at my stop loss. It depends upon what I would have done to risk on each individual trade. I think this Meta one, the first one would have probably lost, but the second one won. So whatever. But I got in here as we broke above that level yet again. My alert went off, which is why I got in. And I saw a little bit of an uptick in volume at the time. So I was like, okay, let's go for it. Now, what ended up happening was Meta just kind of consolidated, broke it, and then just consolidated for days. Now, I played this off the daily time frame. So was it perfect? No. Would I want to see momentum? Yeah. Would I have maybe, would it have been a fair idea just to say, yeah, I'm going to get out of it and not play? Yeah, you could have said that because it just didn't go when I wanted to see it go. It's fair. But what do I always say, or what is my risk on these plays? Breaking candle low. And if you play the breaking candle low, it's usually going to be a pretty good area for a stop. It's going to usually be a pretty tight stop. So, especially for a swing trade. So if I get in here, roughly this 485 area, and I risk, let's adjust that, and I risk the lows of the breaking candle. I mean, the day that it broke out, or the day that it broke above, technically, wasn't the best breakout with a little upper wick, but okay, fair, we'll play it. Then a 2-to-1 risk reward really isn't that far. So a 2-to-1 would have technically been up to about 506.25, roughly. So I didn't get the 2-to-1. I had a target at 500. Now, what I did was I originally got in and I just put a target at $500. Now, my plan, this is me saying this after the fact, I understand, so I could just kind of be bullshitting you, but what's the incentive there? I don't really, it doesn't matter. I made less money on the trade anyway. My plan was, as I was looking at the charts, I'm like, a 1.5 roughly risk reward is not like, we could probably get more than that, to be honest, with how Meta moves, right? So I'm like, this could be a much bigger play, maybe 505 to 510 being ultimate take profits, maybe even 515 or more. And I was planning to scale out. However, when I enter a trade, I just enter a stop and I enter a take profit right off the bat. I put something in there at a minimum, just in case for things that happened like this, just in case something happens and I, lose all internet access, I lose connection or whatever. This way I can't get destroyed. And I also, if things work out, I'll at least make money. In this case, things worked out and I at least made money because what ended up happening, if I jump over here, this trade gets closed out. Here it is. So 192.66. What ends up happening was the prop firm that I'm using, they are switching platforms. So from MetaTrader to DXTrader, I believe. And in doing so, I now don't have access or my credentials don't lead to a valid account. However, these positions were opened and they were never closed. So they finally got closed out once my take profit hit. So I went in, I set my take profit at 500 and I had my stop loss, I believe, under this low, which was around 476. That didn't hit and the take profit at first. And so we got taken out. So that was really it. It's kind of funny because like maybe if I had access, I would have messed around with it more, but at the same time, it never hit my stop loss. So usually I just leave these trades on. But in a perfect world, I would have taken a partial, maybe taken half my position off at 500 and then look to 505 and 510, maybe even 520 as areas of next interest to scale out. So I would have maybe been able to milk out maybe a bit more if it keeps going, because technically today it's only hit up to 503 or 504. 504 so far today. So, we'll see if it keeps going, but it has the look that this thing can certainly go for more based off the way that meta moves. It wouldn't be super crazy to see, 520, 525 even in the next couple of days if momentum is still there. So that's the deal. That was the meta trade tracked here in TradeZilla and all that good stuff. I literally, because the syncing with MetaTrader is no longer a thing because the account's not valid right now, I had to just go and manually enter this one in, which took me a second to figure out, but I did it and we're all good. So I literally went back through, I had entered my times, I entered the amount, which this is multiplied by 100, so really it was 13 shares, the opening price, and then the closing time and the closing price, and 192.66 is what they have here, and that is what we have here as well. So there you guys have it. That is the update, and the current, I guess I should jump back to this page. The current account balance or equity is at 26,213.83 cents. So we're up over $1,200 on our profit target. So we're well past the halfway point there, which is cool. But we're in the middle of a platform switch, which I think will be a good thing in the end of the day. This is not necessarily like the platform that I used in the past seemed to kind of try to pull a fast one. These guys seem to be transparent about what they're doing and how they're trying to fix things that they could, be a long-term solution in the space. So we'll see if it pans out. The reality is that for me, it's fine. And if it's not fine in a couple of weeks, then, we'll have to just go back to trading our own capital, which, is what it is. I would like to use someone else's capital if I can. But if I have to trade my own, I trade my own. So we'll see. But so far, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. But with that said, guys, that's the trade recap, making whatever the number was, 192.66 on Meta today. Thanks so much. Hope it was helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.